How did a mere piece of paper become the world's greatest power? In 1971, there came a night that quietly changed the entire world order, and that too without a single shot being fired. Do you know that today America is the world's boss, not because of its military, but because of a secret deal that still affects our pockets today? After World War II, the world needed new finance. America put forward its currency, the dollar, and made a firm promise that a fixed amount of real gold would be kept safe behind every dollar. This new system made America very rich and kept the rest of the world quiet for a while. But this stability was not going to last long.
Hurry!
The story begins in 1944 with the Bretton Woods Agreement. Here major nations agreed global trade would use only dollars, and the dollar directly tied to gold. People thought their money was as safe as gold kept in a bank locker. But America was slowly starting to go far beyond the limits of its treasury. By late 1960s, things quickly started getting worse. America was spending money like water in the Vietnam War, for which they started printing new notes indiscriminately. Other countries in the world began to suspect that America did not actually have as much gold as the notes circulating in the market. Countries like France and Britain, in a panic, started demanding their gold back in exchange for their dollars, causing America's treasury to empty rapidly. On the night of August 15, 1971, President Richard Nixon suddenly appeared on national TV and made an announcement that shook the entire world. He announced without any prior warning that the relationship between the dollar and gold was now being ended forever. This is called the Nixon Shock in history, which overnight turned the dollars in people's hands into just a mere piece of paper. But the biggest suspense was yet to come because America was looking for a new gold to save its dominance. And what happened was that by 1973, the world was going through a severe oil crisis. Arab countries had suddenly stopped the oil supply, and oil prices were skyrocketing all over the world. America's economy was on the verge of crashing, and inflation had risen so much that mile-long lines of cars began to form at gas stations. This was the time when a master plan was made, a top-secret deal that is today called the Petrodollar system. In July 1974, U.S. Treasury Secretary William Simon quietly visited Saudi Arabia. He had one goal: to somehow make America's paper dollar the world's greatest necessity again. If they had failed in this task, America's dream of becoming a superpower would have been buried there forever. For decades, documents of this historic pact stayed hidden from the world. From the outside, it seemed like just a normal diplomatic visit, but behind closed doors, a very big game of the entire world's economy was being played. America made a proposal to Saudi Arabia. We will provide complete protection to you and your royal family with weapons and military. But in return, there was only one condition. Saudi Arabia had to sell all its crude oil exclusively in US dollars. This meant that now every country in the world would desperately need US dollars to buy oil. And there was also a hidden condition that whatever money Saudi Arabia earned in dollars, it would reinvest back into US government bonds. This one secret move breathed new life into that mere piece of paper that Nixon had separated from gold just a few years earlier. By 1975, all major oil-producing countries of OPEC had agreed to trade crude oil only in dollars. A few years ago, the dollar nearly hit zero. Now, fueled by black gold, crude oil, it rules the world. Uncrowned king today. This game of petrodollars not only changed the maps of governments, but also profoundly affected the lives of ordinary people around the world. When the whole world started needing dollars to buy oil, the value of the currencies of developing countries began to fall rapidly. In countries that did not have a major means of earning dollars, rising inflation broke the backs of ordinary families. Without anyone noticing, this one financial system widened the gap between rich and poor countries so much that it has not been fully bridged to this day. To easily understand this complicated world of economics, think of it like a very large casino. The petrodollar system made America the owner of a casino where every country in the world wants to play the game of trade. But to play, everyone first has to buy the casino's chips, that is, dollars. Even if America itself doesn't win any big games in trade, it always remains profitable due to the demand for its chips. This system gave America such a magical power that it can print as many notes as it wants without the backing of any real gold, and yet its economy does not crash. This is why today, if America makes even a slight change in interest rates in its country, it directly affects stock markets around the world and the bank loans of ordinary people. Today, after 50 years, the world's wheel again turns toward a big change. Many powerful nations are now trying to break free from U.S. dollar rule. It's called de-dollarization. Central banks around the world are again buying real gold in large quantities, just as they did before 1971. Dollars won't vanish overnight. That's certain though. America's economy, tech, and military remain still so huge that shifting the whole world off the dollar overnight is nearly impossible. But the piece of paper that began to rule the world in 1974 is today facing the biggest challenge in its history. This story of the petrodollar teaches us that real power in the world is determined not just by armies or weapons, but also by far-sighted economic decisions taken at the right time. In the pages of history, that event of 1974 will always be remembered as a masterstroke that turned a mere piece of paper into the world's biggest and quietest weapon. This change won't happen overnight, but when it does, each home's economy will shake. If you want to know what happened to the common person whenever a country's currency has crashed in history, then be sure to watch our next video, The Weimar Republic, when money became cheaper than scrap paper.